Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode in a series I am buzzing to get started on. Some of my fondest memories with this game have come from getting involved with the community around my channel, and I've been inspired recently to get back to the community aspect of the YouTube experience. That is why I am starting this new series. This is Let's Play Minecraft Together. That's right, together, because I want to make this a community experience where we take the game to another level. As we log in here for the first time together, I wanted to make it clear that this is a whitelisted server that only myself and my patrons will be playing on, and if you are interested in playing with us, you can find the information in the description box down below. However, I do not want to disclude anyone from participating in what we're doing here, which is why we are going to be running regular competitions on our public plot world server, and these events will tie into the creations we make in this world, which is going to go far beyond the regular vanilla game. My plans are to extend the vanilla experience greatly with the possibilities that resource packs and data packs offer us in the next update of Minecraft, and I'm going to tell you about all of the wonderful things I have planned in this video. But first of all, let's talk about inspiration. Together, my patrons have built a couple of wonderful worlds in vanilla Minecraft, which I have missed out on being a part of. Stunning communal areas and the gorgeous terrain of Biome Bundle have made exploring their worlds an absolute pleasure each time I get to log on, and often or not I end up goofing around and letting them kill me. The plot world is another place I've spent much of my time redstoning, goofing around and checking out the draw-dropping builds people create together with the freedom of creative mode, and I very much want to bring these aspects together. The server we are going to make together will be more than just a regular vanilla server. We will use command blocks and the like and to add lots of possibilities to the game and expand the Minecraft experience. This ain't no regular series either. I want these episodes to include the whole experience. I'm talking about showcases of the builds and plots other players in the community make, time lapses of us building and playing and creating together, and even the administration work will become a part of the series as I show you the magic behind making these additions to the game and what goes into the command blocks and resource packs we will use on the server. We will also be doing regular live stream competitions on the plot world server, allowing everyone to get involved, inspiring and influencing the builds we make in this new world. All of this comes together at a time where I am changing the look of my channel and renaming our extended community to the xisumavoid, which is free for anyone to join. We have a public open Discord and public plot world servers for you to play on, as well as a whitelisted, modded, vanilla and snapshot servers for my patrons and supporters too. We would love for you to become a part of the xisumavoid, so be sure to check out the description box for a link to the Discord server, and everything you need to know about the xisumavoid you can find right there. So it is time for us now to do as one does in a brand new world and punch wood and get started, but this is going to be no normal start to playing in a world. What I want to do is walk you through some of the big plans that I have with this series, because I want it to be an open development of ideas. And so we will be jumping between punching trees, making tools, going caving, gearing up, and talking about all of the features that are going to be added. I'm going to be showing you demonstrations of these features, and then over time we will be adding them to this series. Now the reason that I want to do it like that is because I want to make it an open development where you guys can wage in as well with ideas and things that come to mind and your opinions on the different changes and stuff that we're going to be making to the game. And it's going to be that kind of experience, and I am super duper looking forward to it. One thing I want to mention quickly is that we're going to be using a resource pack on the server to achieve some of these things, and of course we're using a resource pack right now. If you're watching this video in the future, it won't look like it because this will one day be the future look of Minecraft, but for this series I've decided that I'm going to start off by playing this with the resource pack that Japper has been working on, of course, for all the new textures that we're going to see in the future, which I am very excited for. But getting back on track, the plan here is to take the money that we're getting from Patreon and reinvest it into the server and the community to make all of these cool ideas that we have possible. And so we're going to be going through them all one by one. Now it will turn to night soon, so I think it might be smart for us just to have a little exploration around the island here and see if we can find any sheep. Aha, I found you hiding away, and it looks like there's enough of them here if we get lucky to make a bed as well, which is cool. And it looks like an interesting start, but I've got something kind of peculiar to tell you about this overworld. It is not going to survive. Minecraft 1.13 will be coming out soon, and with that we're going to see massive changes to the terrain as the oceans are going to be changing. There will be new biomes and structures and new possibilities with adding your own structures into the world as well. So it means that we are going to be abandoning the overworld to begin with. That sounds kind of crazy, but I'm looking at this like it's a challenge, it's an opportunity. We will be settling down in the nether and the end to begin with, and that brings up all sorts of new challenges like not being able to use water for contraptions in the nether, and then in a short while in the future we'll be able to come back to the overworld. For now it's only for scavenging resources, and then when 1.13 comes out we're going to reset the overworld. But I feel like I'm waffling on about this too much. I'm sure you want to see some of these new features, and so like I said, we'll go through them one by one and we'll keep jumping back to the world here as I make some progression. They say save the best till last. Well, I say let's start off with a bang. This is my favourite feature of all of them. Mushroom blocks. I know what you're thinking, what are you on about, X? This is just a bunch of random mushroom blocks. Well, if you look at them closely, a lot of these ones are ones that don't actually appear in survival Minecraft, and a friend of mine has figured out a way to actually apply new textures to these blocks. So this will require the use of a resource pack. And here you can see the resource pack. It has a link to my friend Mary. This is her YouTube channel. If you'd like to know how this works, go over there and check out her videos on this feature that she has come up with. I'll put links to the videos in the description box down below. I'm not even going to attempt the ins and outs of how this works, but I'll give you a rough idea. Basically, all of those blocks that don't appear in survival Minecraft can be manipulated and turned into textures. And right here, we've got what you could call placeholder textures. They are all unique. They've got different numbers on them. So how many in total, you're thinking? How many in total? 160. That's right, 160 new textures in this game using a resource pack. That is exciting stuff right there, and this is what I want to bring onto the server. So again, if you want to know the ins and outs of how this works, go and check out Mary's videos. Right now though, I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration on how I think we can take this idea and make it work on the server. So at the moment it works like this. You get given a command block, you place it down, and it turns into the type of texture that you want. So let's say it's like a lapis block, and we could turn it into a slightly different one. You know, let's pretend this is our own chiseled lapis texture. Then that's going to be possible if we are to use something like this. This is how I think it could work. We could take a stick, rename it to chisel, and then in survival Minecraft what you would do is throw the stick at the block, and that's because we can detect entities that have been renamed in an area, and then it could change the block to the new texture. Now I'd like to come up with an even friendlier way of doing that, and I know there's a way you can do it on the server because we'll be able to make a plugin for the server, one that would allow you to go up to the block and click on it, and if you click on it with a stick that's been renamed to chisel, it could then change the texture to another type. So I'm hoping to develop something very similar to that that will be just as friendly in vanilla survival Minecraft as well, because the server is going to be Spigot, basically meaning it's vanilla survival, but you can also run plugins as well. Now when it comes to the types of texture that I want to add, I don't really want to go overboard with adding in stuff that's really not like anything that already exists. So it'll probably be ideas like adding a chiseled variant to iron or gold, or you know, similar blocks to ones that are already in the game. But right now it's just in the idea stage, and I'm really hoping we'll see this on the server in the future. So welcome back to the world. I've found a good old cave to get started in, and I've been killing sheep trying to gather up some food. We've got a furnace to cook so we can keep ourselves fed. And in this cave there is tons of coal and tons of iron as well. So I'm thinking next time I jump in I might have a full set of iron armor and tools. Although that might be a little bit too ambitious. Anyway, let me just walk you through it. So we got a big patch of coal right here, a little bit of iron. Iron again, coal. Like, I'm walking through here, just lots of patches of iron. So I'm thinking I can spend some time in here, smelt all of that up, and get some armor and some new tools. But we're going to retire some tools here, and I was thinking about how can I make a link into the next segment where I show you more of the stuff that we're going to be adding. And kind of halfway there, I guess, wouldn't it be nice to add some sort of like memento text to these tools right here? As these are the first ones that I've made on this server, and I'm going to craft a chest for which I just about have the wood for, and I'm going to put them in there and they're going to be stashed away and stored together as the first tools made on the server, right? And so, yeah, I'd like to add a little something special to them. Quite some time ago, a feature was added to this game, the ability to add lore to items. That's additional custom text that appears on the tooltip. And it's really a creative only feature. You can't do it in survival Minecraft, which is something that I would like to change with command blocks. And here is my vision of how it might work. I'm not entirely sure if this is possible, but let's say we have an input and an output chest. We put our item of choice into the middle of it, or a particular slot, and then we open up a book and rewrite what we want. Now I think with 1.13 they've added features that allow you to get data from one place and add it somewhere else, right? So I'm hoping it might be possible to make a system like this. You put the text into the chest and then it reads it and it moves this item over to another chest and it adds the lore. So what's in the book then ends up on the item. I don't know if that's entirely possible, but it certainly will be with a plugin on the Spigot server. So what I want to do is make sure all of these things are doable in both, but sometimes they might not be, and I've got a feeling this might be one of them. So on the Spigot server, what you would do is you would type in /lore, and then you'd put the text in, and you'd be holding an item in your hand, and then you press enter, and it would accept it because it's got a plugin to handle that, and then it would write the text onto the item in your hand, and you could add lore to your items, which is just a really nice way to customize the little things in your world. Ooh, yeah, iron ingots look different, don't they? Also, the achacha sapling down there looks crazy. I think we should make ourselves an iron sword. Yes, and usually what you do at the beginning of this game is you start diving down into caving under. Well, I just made one of those. Fair enough, I made the wrong thing. But yeah, usually what you do at the beginning of this game is start diving down underground to, you know, get all your resources together. But I thought it'd actually be nicer to do things a little bit different and perhaps just explore the overworld. I mean, it's an overworld that's not going to last for very long. As I mentioned earlier, it will end up getting reset. But I thought it would be cool just to do a little bit of exploring, something different, you know. Anyway, as we go outside and start to check out the area, I'm going to show you the next thing again. As we do, we're going to keep jumping. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a marker of this area, like that. So now I can look at the video and the coordinates are there forever, right? Immortalized. So I can come back here and sort that out later, which I'll need to do because I'm about to go exploring the worlds. So yeah, we'll eventually one day, I hope, put lore onto those items. Looks like it's daytime, although I'm not sure what time of day. And they'll be immortalized forever with a little bit of lore. Now, the next thing that I'm going to show you is once again very similar to what I just showed you. Another way to customize items and whatnot. I'll tell you what, while we're exploring, we need to gather ourselves some food for the future, of course, as I plan on traveling a lot now. So this next feature is very similar to the last, a way to customize your items. And again, on a Spigot server, maybe using a plugin, you can type something into chat to make your life easier. Although this isn't actually about putting text on an item, this is about changing the color of it. So there's going to be an exchange of materials in order for the customization of your item. So let's say that we've got a sword like this one, the Mighty Looter. It's got looting free on. And I'd like to point out a little bug here. Look at how the tags, or sort of the overlay, changes based on what screen you're on. I'm recording this in a snapshot because these features are made available in 1.13. So let's say we were to put a piece of lapis and the Mighty Looter sword into a chest together, then we should be able to see that there's lapis in the chest and then target the item in the chest and change its data and take away the lapis. So that means that we can change the color of it. We can dye the item. And there it is with a blue name. I think that is really, really cool, but this could be taken even further. So in this chest there is a bunch of ideas, and I always think it's a good idea to try and take things that don't get used a lot in the game and give it a reason to be used, like rabbit hide. And this makes no logical sense to the change to the item, but you can see that the text is now bold. So red dye and rabbit hide could equal bold red text on your item, which is cool. So this next one is just plain text, because usually they are italic. As you can see, it's slanted, and then we have that. Going to skip this one, go over here. You can see that we've underlined it by using flint, and we've coloured it with yellow, and this one right here has got a line strike through the middle thanks to the blaze. Now these won't be the actual items we use, this is just me with some quick ideas. And then the Nether Star, you're probably wondering, well, what does that do? It does that. It animates the text, or obfuscates it, or however that word is said. And it is extremely cool. And I think for that one right there, which will probably be a popular one, something like a Never Star makes a lot of sense. I have a confession to make, my friends. I went back and I got my tools. I realised it was probably silly to just leave them there, considering I'm wandering off into the world. And I found a desert temple. This is a great way to get started in the game, raiding a few of these. I've also just been through a massive desert biome. This thing was huge. And I got myself some cactus and sugarcane, gathering up some supplies for farming. As I approach this thing, though, I've got to say that sandstone texture pops out a little bit too much for me. I think the lines are a little too harsh. This needs some softening. But anyway, going inside, you know that there's going to be some good loot in here. And we just want to make our way down to the bottom. Usually I just jump right into one of these things, but I ain't even got, boots on, yet let alone feather falling. So, as always, break that in the middle so the TNT down below can't be activated. And let's see what we've got in these chests. Nope, nothing good in that one, really. That's what I'm talking about. Golden apples, emeralds, golden ingots, that's alright. Some gunpowder as well. This one, bones, probably quite useful early on. Some iron as well, that's excellent. We can make some more armor. I'd say that's reasonable, but you can get better loot in these chests. Finally, a village. That's one of the other things that I was looking for. I've gone through that desert, it's behind me off in that direction. We've gone through some plains fields, now into a savanna, and I've been slaughtering animals, unfortunately, gathering up lots and lots of food for my travels and for my adventures. Now there's a whole bunch of cows in this area, and a whole bunch of other types of food as well, which look kind of interesting because all the textures are changed. But this is a good place to raid and hopefully find some decent resources. And there's some villages here as well, which will lead us into the next thing that we're going to talk about that we're planning on adding into this world. This next feature is miniature blocks. You might have seen this in creative builds on creative servers. It's probably not too much of a surprise to you what this is. And to give you a quick rundown on how it works, player heads can have a custom skin attached to them. And that allows us to add the skins of different types of blocks in the game. So I want to add those into survival, but not only blocks that match what's already in the game, things like famous characters, different food types, so that one being a cupcake. We've got a skeleton mob over here with a crown on it, and then also some decorative blocks as well, which will allow you to expand the detail in your builds. Now when it comes to implementing this, there's going to be a way that I want to do it on the server that will be different to what we release. Because again, everything that we're developing here, I want to be both on the server and available to the public as well. So the way the public would use this is probably with a villager that would have a bunch of trades, right? You give it some items, it gives you a mob head in return. And I haven't been able to set that up as of right now. But the way that we would do it on the server is with custom crafting, which is added into Minecraft 1.13. The unfortunate thing is that it doesn't support MBT data, which is what this requires. So you wouldn't be able to get anything other than a plain player head out of that recipe. But with Spigot, we could intercept the crafting and actually give you the correct player head using a crafting recipe. And this one is a notch, a grayscale notch, which I really find quite amusing. The sun is setting. It's time to try and save these villagers. We'll need them for breeding one day. You need to butt off from this little area there. Yeah, I am literally just going to put them in this hole with a torch, cover them up, and come back for them at another time. There's a building here that doesn't have like a proper entrance. There's a door, but you can't get in there. And I've gone around and I've trapped some of the other villagers, which are noticeably nimwits. There's a lot of nimwits in this village for some reason. And now that it's night time, the zombies are going to be coming. So I'm going to try and trap a few more of them safely away. Wow, that guy just sort of vanished for a split second. And there's been literally nothing of use other than some books. So I think at this point the exploration has been fun, but it's time to go down underground, and this is a good location because if I run out of food I can pop back up to the surface and get some crops, of course. Yes, and I'm kind of expecting the zombies to be here already, but I don't see any. This next feature is one of the ones I'm most excited for, and it comes at you from two different angles. One of those is aesthetics, simply adding more stuff into the game for people to enjoy. The other one is coming together and creating these aesthetics. Now we've got a giant pixel diamond sword here, and the reality is every player can go and build one of these, and every player could change the colour and tweak the design of the sword to their liking. Now we'll come back to that point in just a moment. First of all, let me explain what this is. I have searched the internet just to find a resource pack to demonstrate this technology that I'm aware of. You can basically take a diamond sword and you can look at its unbreakable value, and if you give it a different unbreakable value you can apply a different texture to it. Now the person who created these textures and this resource pack has also changed the main diamond sword, which you don't need to do. We're going to keep the original diamond sword in the game. In fact, for all the tools and things that we change, we're going to keep the originals in there. These aesthetics are going to be mainly for aesthetics. Now if we have a look at the swords that have been created here, you'll see that they have different attack speeds, different attack damages, and other things. Like I think one of them has like a crazy amount of knockback on it, and I'm not looking to do anything like that. I'm not looking to rebalance the game, and since these swords will be totally unbreakable, we'll probably won't make them on diamonds, we'll probably put them on stones. So it's a purely aesthetic thing. If you want to walk around and have a cool fancy sword on you, then you're more than welcome to, but we're not going to make them overpowered or better than diamond swords. It's generally the idea there. So going back to our first point about how anyone could build this diamond sword and then change the colors to their liking, what we can do is we can create a filter that will take the blocks someone have built in a world and then convert it into an image file that can be used in the resource pack for someone to walk around with this fancy sword, right? And so what I'm thinking is that we should do live stream competitions on the plot world where everyone gets a plot with a sword on it like this, and then they can come in, they can customize the sword, they can change the size of it, the materials, they can make it look just like they want, and then we can have a competition. We pick out our favorites, and that way we can get more people involved and create stuff together. And the idea's got me really excited. I hope you're excited for it too. So the village is directly above us. My next goal now is to do some mining, get some obsidian, so hopefully I'll find a lava lake, and I've just set up a little area down here. We're going to obviously go for some diamonds as well and hopefully get some diamond armor. This is all the stuff that I've gotten so far, and I heard some skeletons over here, and I've seen them as well because there's a ravine, and a second ago I heard a creeper falling and making the creeper damage sound, and apparently possibly some spiders died over here as well. Does that mean there's a mine shaft up there, maybe with a spawner? So let's entice this guy to come over. Just talking about that last feature there, I am so excited for that one. Having, you know, community competitions, getting people building together and creating things for the experience in this world. And if I didn't make it clear, like the point was not to change the balancing of Minecraft, but to keep all of these additional items that we have as aesthetic things. So because they're unbreakable, that's why we would be making them as, you know, like iron or stone swords instead of diamonds, so they're not as powerful, as a kind of compensation, I guess, for being unbreakable. This next feature I'm about to show you is another one I'm incredibly excited for. Custom boss battles in survival Minecraft, and we've already got this on our vanilla patron server, which isn't going anywhere, by the way. The Together server is not a replacement for this place. On here we have a custom boss battle against Evil X. This one will be migrated to the Together server, and I want to add some more boss battles as well, like a shulker boss battle, because when you play on a survival server with lots and lots of people, shulker boxes can be hard to come by, and there'll be other boss battles as well with trophies to collect and things like that, but this is it right here. Because I got Optifine, there's a bit of a visual glitch going on with this outlined dropper, but it'll be something along the lines of this. There'll be arenas that you can go and visit inside of the world, and with particular items you can then summon that boss fight. So Evil X is hanging out over here. I've put myself in survival mode. I also gave myself resistance 10. It'll probably still do damage to me, and we've missed the summoning sequence of Evil X. Unfortunately, there is a command block on this server that loves to stop working every now and then. We don't know why. The shrine is now locked, and we've missed the spawning sequence, but it is a very difficult boss fight against Evil X here, and this is super cheaty because I have resistance 10 right now, but you can see the boss fight is very interesting. Lightning strikes, throwing down potions. You know, if I weren't cheating right now, this would be just horrendously difficult. And so, yeah, that's one boss fight, and what I want to do on the server is add many more of them. This is a rockin' start. I've not exactly put like a ton of time into playing on here. I did do a little branching in that direction, decided to come back to the cave over here so I could pick up this lava, because we need to make obsidian, and if I'd have paid attention earlier, you know, the obsidian is right in front of me, But as well as that, the diamonds are here as well. So we get to mine the first diamonds together. I'm very dubious of something dropping on my head. Now we need 3 in total. And it looks like we got 1, we got 2. So we don't get to make a diamond pick straight away. Let's hope I can find some more in this area, and then we'll be able to make a portal and go through to the Nether. Now, if you recognise this site right here, I need you to go down to the comments and type #oldschool, because you are old school. This was made back in April of 2013. It's almost 5 years old, and I can't believe the command blocks still work, or at least mostly work. If I go and stand in here, this is my own custom portal. It gives us a nausea effect to simulate going to another dimension, and where it takes us to is a custom dimension, except actually it's just another part of the overworld, and of course it's going to rain while I'm making a video. Typical. But to simulate it feeling like another dimension, we've used night vision at night so the sky feels different, and then we've replaced regular blocks that you see generating with wall blocks. Now what I want to do is basically spigot only. It's going to be for the server, this feature, but to add more dimensions, and we think it might be possible with spigot to basically create extra dimensions that you can get to using the server. So these dimensions could have custom terrain generated with different types of blocks. We could have worlds that are like amplified and beyond. And also we could use these dimensions for boss fights or for challenges as well. I was thinking it'd be really cool to go to a custom dimension where you play a skyblock challenge, and once you completed it, you get to bring a trophy back to the regular world. Things like that. That's what I want to add. More and more possibilities into this Minecraft experience. So I was about to cover all of this lava over with water, and something in my head said, no, don't do that. And that's when I remembered that we can of course make a portal to the Nether with just lava buckets and water buckets. So over here we've got our water flowing down, and that is good enough for us to now get to the Nether. But I don't have a piece of flint yet, and I feel like I would rather enchant some of my tools and some of my armour, especially before we go to the Nether. So I need to find myself some gravel of all things at the moment. Alright, this next feature I think is something all players can agree on would be really nice to have in survival Minecraft, and with a spigot plugin it would be very straightforward intercepting the action of clicking on a block with another type of item. In survival Minecraft with some command blocks, I'm not quite sure how it's going to work, but it's actually already in the game to some extent. However, this debug stick can be used with anything to rotate blocks, and I wouldn't want to implement an idea in this way. I want it to be used on specific blocks only, and one of those would be terracotta, because you know, when you're trying to make a pattern, it's always a bit of a pain to kind of figure out which way around you should be standing as you place each of the blocks. Wouldn't it be nice just to come over here and click them until you figure out what way around it is you want it to be, like that? You know, it would make wall building so much easier. There you go, straight away, just like that, in 2 attempts we've made it again. So that's my other idea, is to bring something onto the server like that allows you to build a terracotta blocks a little bit easier. Alright, so now we can craft a flint and steel, and as you can see, enchanted armor. It's all got protection 1, kind of treating it like a UHC. And got this little setup going on over here. Also managed to get a fortune 1 and unbreaking 2 on that, so we're going to use that on the next set of diamonds that I find when I'm branch mining. But what I really want to do is pop into the Nether now. So let's grab the flint and steel and let's just check out what the Nether looks like together. This is the second version of the resource pack, so the Nether looks really nice in this one. It still needs a few things tweaked, but overall it's going to be pretty cool looking. And wow, that kind of generated quickly, didn't it? Looks like we're down at the bottom of the Nether. Right, so there could be lava lakes above us somewhere. There's bedrock exposed down here. We've now got access to glowstone. I think there needs to be a lighting update around here, something like that. Am I using Optifine? Yeah, I've got Optifine installed because dynamic lighting is kicking in. And now we've got access to quartz, which is a source of XP as well. So the question is, where in the Nether do I want to set up? I kind of actually want to set up my little outpost higher up, near where the lava lakes are, because lava lakes are going to be a fuel source. But also I kind of want to build in the open Nether rather than just hang out in a cave. But so far this looks pretty easy going down here, and I guess I've got to dig my way up to the surface next. Alright, it's time for another concept, and this one is much like the swords concept over there, in the way that we could do building competitions and build these things together. they're going to be trophies. So over here we've got a little mock-up of some items on a shelf. What I'd like to do is put our own items onto these shelves, things that we have designed ourselves, and we can actually do that with this mock-up demonstration here. If I place this block below me, you can see it instantly turns into a little trophy. Isn't that fantastic? Now I've got to give a shout out to my buddy MSpace for putting this together for us. This is just a quick mock-up to show you what is possible. That right there is our own custom little model of a trophy, and personally I think what we'd do is we'll scale it down a little bit and put it on a less detailed scale so it would fit into Minecraft more, you know, so it would be like this kind of scale right here, which is probably about 6 by 6 pixels. But that's the general idea, that we can make our own little unique blocks and then we can give them out to players for completing challenges or participating in competitions, and they can have these things stored in their base. Now the whole thing is possible thanks to a concept that Simply Sark shared. I've been friends with Sark for such a long time, goes back years on YouTube. And yeah, this is based off of a concept he showed in his video. If you'd like to see it fully explained, there'll be a link to his video in the description box down below. So what we're actually placing down is a mob spawner. It's been retextured so there's no cage. The pig and the particles also don't appear there as well. And there's like an armor stand in it, and it's holding like a block model. And yeah, you go watch Sark's video, it'll make a much more sense. But basically we can use that to, if we stand next to it, when we place it, to put a model into the world. And this will never actually spawn anything as well, which is another good thing. It's not going to start spawning pigs, it's completely inactive, it's not, you know, showing any particle effects, but we can use it to bring our own custom models into the world. So, pretty unexciting, you know. Here's a staircase. Around here I could hear lava, so I turned around and the lava lake is literally just there. So this kind of leads us up to an area where we can look over the surrounding area, and we're kind of in an enclosed lava lake, so it's sort of safe, but there's no nether fortress, which would be a nice thing to stumble across. There is some quartz down there, and we've got our glowstone and magma blocks if for ever some reason we need them, but basically we need to go exploring from this point, and my priority right now isn't actually the nether, it's probably just some more resource gathering. And also we're going to need to look for an area to settle down in the nether, because again, we're not going to be really settling in the overworld because it's going to get reset in the next update of Minecraft. So we'll be looking to settle in the nether and do some building in here as a different sort of challenge, but this certainly won't be the spot. This next feature is fantastic for details. I'm sure you've seen people put armor stands in bases before, cover them in armor and put heads on them and such, and bring the base to life. However, there's room for much more here, as the armor stands are flexible, and the system that I'm showing to you might look a little familiar. That's because I've done a tutorial on it in the past, but I think that this idea needs to be revised, because it uses name tags. You rename them and then you can apply different properties to the armor stand, like make the armor stand small, make it invisible, you can make it float as well, which is really cool. So let's put one down up here, but it's kind of not such a great system, and it hasn't been updated for Minecraft 1.13 yet as well. So I'm thinking about reinventing this whole idea and coming up with a better interface for it, because there's so much more that we can do as well. Like these features are kind of limited. They need to be thought about as well. Like the glowing one is really overpowered because you can see that through blocks, and I think actually that's probably going in the wrong direction there. But there's loads of kind of poses and whatnot that we could put these armor stands into, and we could do a lot with them. I just think the name tag way of doing this is kind of outdated. So this is an old idea that I kind of want to revisit and put into this new world. I am on a roll. I swear, when you go branch mining, it takes a while. You find one, then you find two, then you find three. This is my third set of diamonds. Just two. Just two. No, of course there's more. Hi. Let's mine these up. I've only got Fortune 1, so now we're up to 22 diamonds. And at this point, I should probably be mining them with Fortune 3, right? So I've got 20 levels, and I reckon what we should aim to do is get up to 30 and try a level 30 enchantment on a pick. Now that means best source of XP at this point, probably going back into the nether and mining a ton of quartz. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab this iron and I'm going to smelt that as well though, because smelting will give us XP too. So we're going to try and get every little bit that we can so we can do a level 30 enchantment. So here we have a bit of a vague and a loose idea at the moment, but these banners that you see in front of you can't be made in survival Minecraft, but in creative Minecraft you can put extra layers on above the ones that you can do in survival. So I think you're limited to 6 in survival. You can put a couple extra on if you're in creative mode. This right here is a grumpy cat, by the way. I think it looks hilarious. We've got a pencil there if it's not clear, a bull, a reindeer, an ent, and then some sort of rainbow chain thing. I grabbed these off of planetminecraft.com, but none of them you can make in survival Minecraft. So this is something I think I'd like to do. Perhaps make them unique craftable recipes, like you put a banner with some diamonds and emeralds into a crafting table and it gives you one of these banners, or maybe find a way to just add in extra crafting on top of that. I don't know, but it's just another idea that I wanted to throw out there that I'm thinking about. This could end up bad for me if I'm not careful. I don't know what's behind me, and a giant magma cube has managed to land itself on my head. This is a ton of XP though, so that's kind of good, isn't it? Oh, look at this, it's rolling in now. Excellent. I'm going to get a bit more than 30. I'm going to try and get 32 or 33 levels. There we go, we hit 30. Because if I need to do a dud enchantment because I can't get fortune, then we can do one of those, right? So it makes sense to get just a little bit more. Most of you watching this video would have seen this before. It's on Hermitcraft. It's on my vanilla patron server as well. Some of these mobs, well, pretty much all of them in the game, if you kill them with a looting sword, there's a chance to get a mob head like that one right there from the zombie villager. And I just wanted to say that's going to be on this server as well. I'm also going to be keeping this up to date, moving into 1.13 with the new mobs. And you can already get this from xisumavoid.com. If you go on there and look for the Even More Mobs head page, you will find, you know, everything you need to install this on your own server. So this will be on the new project, and we're going to update it moving forward. There is never a bad time to get yourself some ender pearls in this game. I'm looking at you. Maybe you need a swing of the sword to remind you. Oh, you shouldn't be able to hit me. So we've made, you know, a little platform above our heads so the enderman can't get in here. Classic way of getting ender pearls. And we got one. Nice. And a little bit of XP. Just the one. That's good. There are not many servers in the world where you ask if you can kill people and they turn up. This feature isn't on Hermitcraft. It's similar to the last one I showed you, and I'm hoping we can develop it for the next one because I've got a feeling it might be a little bit crazy with a larger player. But if someone would stand still, well, they're all kind of standing still. That is that player's player head right there. This is a very cool feature. So, oh, did it not work? No, it's in my inventory. I got Garth's head as well as Boozer's here. And let's get Spangle's heads. And yeah, this is a feature I want to put on the new server, okay? It's on this one. We should be able to move it over to the next one as well. If you kill another player, you'll get their head. Books, books, books. We need some books. And the villagers are doing fine, by the way. It seems when we're all the way down at the bottom of the cave, zombies must not be spawning up here because they would have wrecked these villagers. But yes, we need more books, so I've been running around like a madman in these fields, hunting down some sugarcane and hunting down some cows. There were a lot of cows in this area. I think we probably killed off most of them now. But of course, we need more bookshelves if we're to do that level 30 enchantment. So, sorry buddy, but we need your hide, as they say. Leather hides and all that. Let's head in this direction and go pick up some sugarcane. I've built a little sugarcane farm down underground, but it's just not growing fast enough. And let's also talk about a couple of other things that I'm going to be doing, like setting up all of the game rules and adding a command block to stop Enderman griefing, because we've seen all of the big features that I wanted to talk about in this video. In the next episode, what we'll be doing is like a setup. We'll be adding command blocks and scoreboards and setting up the game rules that appear, you know, in the game, as well as talking about other rules for like etiquette on the server as well. I'm also going to set up some rules for myself playing on the server, and all of that will be explained in the next episode. And of course, in the next episode, we'll be inviting people on to the server as well. I'm going to open the floodgates, as it were, and have everyone come on and join us. Which might not be a lot of people to begin with, but of course, if you're watching this and you want to get involved, then you know where to go. Description box, give you all the instructions on how to join the server. As of right now, though, I'm going to continue my hunt for sugarcane. I think I see some down here. I feel very lucky to see Fortune 3 there. We ain't even doing a dud enchantment, and I made too many bookshelves, by the way. I was just sort of shift crafting them. Wow! Efficiency 4, Unbreaking 3, Fortune 3. That is a great sign for this series. I mean, The only way that could have been more awesome is if it had mending on, which of course you can't get through enchanting like this. We'll have to go to the end to get, well, or we could trade with villagers. There's several ways of getting mending. Now I'm thinking, why don't we go ahead and, oh, do you know what? I was going to make a piece of armor. Let's also make a sword first. I mean, we're going to end up spending a lot of diamonds here. Let's make ourselves some diamond boots to begin with. I'd like to have feather falling. I think that would be a good way to start. Cover me with diamonds, they said. Okay, okay, so we're looking at unbreaking. Not particularly special. Fire protection. Considering we're going to be in the Nether, I want fire protection somewhere, so I'm going to take that one as well. And that's the only thing that it's got, and then we'll see what's on here. Sweeping edge number 3. There might be some other enchantments with it. Oh, and that's actually it. I can't do that enchantment. Is there enough in there? No, not quite enough. Well, we'll have to save that one for the next episode, I reckon. So if you've made it to this part of the video, what I need you to do, that's right, you right there, is to go down to the comments down below and put hashtag #myquestion and then ask me a question about this series or about the server that you want answered. Because what we're going to do is the classic thing at the end of the episode to take a question from the comments, put it into a book and immortalize it in this world, as well as answering the question, of course, and I want to do that at the end of each episode. So be sure to comment hashtag #myquestion. And that's it for this episode right there. I've laid out the groundwork for the series. I'm really excited for it. I hope you are too. If you enjoyed the episode, leave a like, help support the video. As always, thank you for your support, and make sure you're subscribed if you want to catch the next episodes of Let's Play Minecraft together. But that's it from me, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.